Release. Did you get it? It's hard to find in there, isn't it? Oh, that's a hard one. All right, we'll work on it. Release. 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 That one didn't go so well, did it? All right. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. That's pretty cool. Shit. Hi, everybody. Sorry for the technical issues there for a second. We're having some unusual problems with the phones that Jake and I use to communicate back and forth. So, apologize. Kola, however, is impervious to this. Good job. Oh, bouncy foot guy. Bouncy foot guy. Um, well, we're back. Hi, everybody. Come here, kid. I'm here with Kola, the Jack Russell terrorist. We're going to do a little bit more training. If you tuned in a couple weeks ago, you saw us working and probably got a refresher on who I am. Or if you were here a little bit ago, you also got that refresher. Good job. Here you go. But I'm Mackenzie. Like I said before, I've been helping out with Days of Dunrovin and the ranch for several years now. But I'm back to do some training with these guys and help out a little bit with the website. And I'm also started my own business called No Bad Dogs, which you're welcome to check out anytime. And I've been positive reinforcement training for, over 10 years now. My phone keeps making noises at me. So it's been quite a while. So our goal here is, if you didn't hear before, poor little Kola here got himself run over by a horse. Unfortunately, now it's calling people. I'm just going to turn this thing off. I don't know. It's freaking out. You're freaking out, phone. And we're going to work on trying to teach him to get into this carrier and stay in it all the way up until he gets onto a horse and then rides around. So today we're just going to go back over some of the training we did last week, see how that goes. If it goes well, we'll move on to adding in a release cue game, which I've been working on with him just a little bit. You can see that his back leg, you might be able to see that, maybe not from the cams, but that his back leg is pretty bent up from getting run over by that horse. But he's a trooper. He's hanging in there. I'm hoping that he'll go check it out one more time, but he's just scoping me. He's ready. He's alert. He's like, is it something to do with this? Maybe. Good job. So you notice I'm not even putting the treat in there or anything. I want him to think about what behavior is getting the reinforcement. He thought about it. He started to. Good job. And I want him to start figuring out that it's his behavior that drives the reinforcement, not following the treat around. So we'll see if he'll go back there one more time. If not, no big deal. We'll play a different game. Huh. Patience is a big part of this training. Oh, that's a good thought. He's trying to sit out. Sit's really smart. I made it a little bit harder. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Good job. Good job, Kola. Oh, way to get right on there. Here, better get some of that. So I'm going to move it now and see if he goes to it again. Good job, kid. That was really good. Here's your treat. See if my body placement has anything to do with it. Great. And he's learning that this is just the awesomest thing in the world. And even if it doesn't have food in it, still a really cool place to go check out. I'm not super concerned that he's not like jumping right in or anything like that right now. I want him to just think, this is really cool and I want to get in there. Good job, kid. Here you go. Let's see if we can do one with it. Hold up a little bit. Good job. Did you want to get in this thing? Is this thing the awesomest thing in the world? He says, yes, it's really good. I really like this thing. Here you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Get all those treats. Here. He's just trying out different things. He's a little bit nervous to put his feet on it, but that's understandable. He just hurt his feet. But he just did one. So I made it a little bit harder by raising criteria up to putting his feet in it. Now I'm going to make it easy again. Do something where he's had high success before, which is just nosing in there. Good job, kid. Here you go. He's getting a little jackpot for that. Keeping it fun. Good job. Oh, we got a paw in again. What a trooper. You're going so fast I can't even keep up with you, kid. Here you go. Great. And I'm going to give him a little break from this, and we're going to play another game. When you're doing positive reinforcement training, it's important. Keep sessions short. A lot of learning happens when you're not working. Brains need a moment to process information, especially when it comes that rapid fire. And you can definitely overtrain. So getting little breaks in like this are pretty good. His little brain's working on what was working there. And you just want to end it, like give him a break in a good moment. Now I'm going to start working on what we call release cue. It's going to be important that this release cue is only paired with this because I want it to be a really strong stay behavior. And I want him to learn in the end, I'm going to add these two things together so that he learns that he runs and jumps in this and he doesn't come out until the release cue is given. So let's see how some of this training's going to go. Did you find a good treat that you missed before? Good job, kid. I'm going to let him just investigate a little bit. That's also, usually sniffing is associated with thinking with them, just like in us, like staring off is usually some of that processing time. We'll like look off into the distance. Good. So I'm going to reinforce him a bunch for just staying mostly in the same place, unless I drop that treat. And then I'm going to really clearly cue when it's time for him to move. So I'm working on duration here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And he hasn't moved this whole time. And now I'm going to really clearly tell him when it's time to move by saying a really clear cue. Release! He moved. That's what I wanted to see, so I can click it. Another duration one, but I'm going to start adding in distraction. I'll be the distraction. Oh, he moved a little bit. That's on me. Make it easier. Messed up again. But you get a misclick a fair amount. They're pretty resilient. I just have to adjust my criteria down. Good. So you see that time I barely moved my foot. Clicked right as I was moving my foot. And so you kind of missed it. Good job, Kola. Release! He took a step. He gets a treat. Good job. Standing still gets more treats. Boots are hard for him. He took a little step, but that's my fault. I dropped the treat right there, and we haven't really worked on not moving to get food, which is something we will have to work on if we want this to be a really strong behavior in here. Good job, kid. Turning around might be hard, so I'll make that really easy too. You moved a little bit. No big deal. Make it easy again. He's like, I'm ready for the next thing. There we go. So sometimes you just got to really adjust way down. And now I'll try and get him to move on cue. Release! There it is. And that's a much clearer movement. You got to clean that up right there. Cool. All right, we'll do a little more with this. With our favorite awesome toy. Actually, I should probably give you a second to just hang out, huh? Just gonna give him a little second to just think about what he's learned. Oh, sitting's a really good way to restart a session. Good job, kid. Here you go. I'm going to just, since he did sit, I'm going to give him a bunch of treats for that, because eventually what I want him to learn, I want him to see that sitting really pays off. Release! Very good job. And now I'm kind of using body motion and in conjugation with the cue. The cue is just, I'm just trying to associate it. I'm not trying to, like, it's not really doing the work yet. It's going to take a lot more training before it's really solid, and we'll proof it. All right, let's see if we can get a little more mat work out of him. What do you think about that thing? Much more brave with the mat today than he was last time. Reinforce away. Be awesome to get another paw on there, but we might not get it. I waited a little too long, trying out my criteria. So now I just got to think about what I want to reinforce instead. I might just move it one more time. Good job. Here you go. So it's the reason I'm moving this around is that it helps and that's what you'll see, like if you do kind of a misclick where you make it just too hard too fast, is that the enthusiasm level will go down. So I got to really work on that. But I'm moving it around as just another way to get them excited about it. So again, it's just going to be click for just checking it out. If we lose enthusiasm, we just make the game a lot easier. Click for checking it out. A couple of treats for that one. I'm also intentionally putting distance between myself and it because I don't want him to think it's just when it's like run to the thing next to Mackenzie. I want him to think that it's run to that thing specifically. So last week when we started, I was keeping it pretty close to me, but I've started increasing distance on that. He's doing pretty good with just like charge over to that thing when he sees it. Good job, kid. All right. I'm going to start adding in criteria, which is just a lot more treats on it, and then one off of it. So the other times I was working on finding it, building enthusiasm for going for it. Now I'm working on duration for staying on it. Oh, nice. So we got 2 paws this time. Release. Good. And release is just how he's going to come away from it. Good job, kid. Here's that. That's extra special because you did good job. So, again, it'll be lots of reinforcement for staying on it. 1 reinforcement for coming off of it. Just building drive to be on there. And if I get anything like more paws in, staying on it for longer, he'll get more treats for that. Good job. Here you go. See if he puts a paw on. What do you think he's thinking about it? I don't want to blow him out. He's kind of like losing his action on it, which is okay. We'll just move it again. I'm going to use a couple of treat reinforcers for getting him in there a little bit. Ideally, you fade that as fast as possible. He's had nose in for a little bit. There's that. It's extra special. Oh, that's not extra special? I thought that was extra special. Here you go. So he let himself out before I said the release cue. That's just something for me to pay attention to next time. I'm going to try and tell him to move his paw out before he chooses to. And I can use, like, sitting next to it's not the end of the world. Let's say the release cue right now. See if we get one more good one. Good job, kid. I want his behavior to, like, you know, I want to wait for him to step in. It's tempting to use, like, a food lure. And he's really motivated by that. But if you start using the lure to get him to do the behavior, it's going to become food contingent rather than behavior contingent. So if he steps in on his own, I want to click it. But right now, I just got to lower down to just hanging out beside it because he's a little bit shy of having his feet in there. 2 feet in, high rate of reinforcement. Oh, I almost had you. Here you go. Just do as I say, not as I do. I just used a lure on accident without even thinking about it. Standing next to it. If I was more on my game right now, I'm a little bit tired from a long day, I would have gotten him as I would have set the release cue before he came out. He's definitely looking for the food to release. There it is. That was good. And 1 treat away. There you go. Cool. We're just going to do one more session with that. Maybe, what do you want to do, Kola? What do you think? What sounds good to you? He says, more training, please. You can tell that he's pretty into it. He's like happy-faced, open-mouthed. His ears are forward. He's not being all intense. Took you a little rest. Yeah, well, had a little burp. Good guy. So I'm just giving him that thinking time. All right, let's give him one more shot. Make it pretty easy. Good job, kid. Just clicking, treating for hanging out next to it still. It's right there. Feeding out of it. Oh, he's got a paw in there. Release. Good job. Let's see if we can get a couple more of those. Let's see what he does next. He's standing right next to it. He just doesn't feel comfortable with his paw in there, but it's understandable if you just had your leg trampled. New surfaces might be a little bit scary. Good job, kid. Here you go. I like how he's like running behind it now. It's pretty funny. Good job. Good job. Release. Not the best use of the cue, but it's all right. We'll do one more, and then I think I'll call it a day with him before we overdo it. What is this? It's right there. Look at that thing. So I just want to make this last one really positive since we're ending on it, and I'm just going to give him the remainder of the reinforcers for just to enjoy on here. Sometimes that's all you need to do with dog, especially if you've done a good job in the past, getting them used to surfaces. But he's clearly a little bit nervous about the surface. We could ease that by putting something he's more familiar with in there, which we might do if he continues to be a little bit shy of putting his paws in there. You know, he's got that messed up back foot, so unusual surfaces, it's really natural for him right now to be careful with them so he's not hurting himself. So we don't want to judge him too hard for that. Just make it super easy and positive. Good job, kid. Did you get all you want? There's some really good reinforcers there. Yeah, look at that. All right, so I'm going to let him check that out. All right, well, thanks, everybody. I'll be back in 2 weeks, so be sure to be checking your calendar. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, be sure and tune in. I think it's 11:30. Check the calendar first, because Mackenzie's memory is not the best. We will be having some folks visiting, so you'll want to tune in for that. It's going to be awesome. And then Thursday, don't miss some special training with Augie, and I think it's boots on the ground. Kelly will be cruising around with some interesting surprises for you all. So be sure and stay tuned. And also, I think Suzanne's going to have an extra special survey that I think she's sending out to everybody. But be sure to stay tuned for that, too. Thanks for joining me. And I will see you all next time in 2 weeks when Kola, the terrorist, and I will come back and do more work on. Oh, good job, kid. Did you just walk all the way over that like a brave little bean? Good job. Is there anything left in there? I don't know. We'll come back and do some more work on his extra special carrier. Is that good? Is that special? It's like, oh, I'll tolerate it. All right. Say bye, Kola. Bye, everybody. See you next time.